What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the Sony RX100 V. So let's get into it. I mean, just look at this thing. It's freaking small. Absolutely puny. Right in my pocket. Boom. So small. It transforms as well, so you can watch this. Boom. Transformer right there. Who needs Optimus Prime? You got this thing, eh? So next thing is strength itself. Feels really nice and durable. I mean, this camera's been through so much. I've been on many backpacking trips. It's been left overnight through the snow, survived through rain. It's not waterproof, but it is resistant. With the strength in mind, there is a lens protector when you do open it and close it. So it automatically closes. Boom. So that's really handy. You won't have to worry about it getting scratched, the lens. So the actual weight itself comes in handy because if you do have a gimbal or glide cam, stuff like that, it's not as heavy, so it doesn't have as much stress on your arm. That's pretty nice. With the weight in mind, when you have a strap and you're holding on your waist, it doesn't feel like it's dragging you down to the ground, so it is quite nice in that way. So one thing that's also really nice about this is it doesn't look expensive. So this is good and bad. For the good side, it would probably be less likely to get stolen because it does look like one of those tourist kind of cheap cameras. On the other hand, the bad thing is that if you go to a shoot and somebody's paying you to do so, this can kind of be a bit awkward. I've had this because you come to the shoot and then you come with this little thing. Hey guys, I'm ready to shoot. Yeah, it doesn't look like you're a professional when you're using this. So another good thing, the screen itself. Pretty nice screen, and then it comes out. That's really nice. If you're shooting like from above, you can look down at it. Or if you're shooting from below, you can look up at it. And if you want to vlog, boom. Yo, what's up guys? On top of that, the viewfinder itself. So yeah, I showed you before. Pops out just like that, and then you pull this out here, boom. And yeah, the viewfinder is really nice. Like, it's really high quality. If it's really sunny out or something, if you're like on a desert or I don't know, wherever you are, you just look through that. It's a lot easier to see through here than the actual screen itself. So next, let's talk about the actual quality of the footage. It's really good for how small this is. I mean, it's true, like this thing is a beast for how small it is. And now obviously 4K for on this thing is awesome. It does shoot 20.10 megapixels, and then it has a sensor that is 13.2 millimeter by 8.8 millimeter. And the one downside is the sensor is pretty small, so your footage does get pretty grainy pretty easily. Just make sure when you shoot you have good lighting and you should be fine. One thing I'm super impressed on with this little thing, the high frame rate. The high frame rate on this thing is absolutely insane. What I use the most is 240 frames at 1080, which is unheard of for this kind of camera. You can get some super butterly smooth, slow walking, jumping, whatever, what have you. Makes your movies look so much more professional. So yeah, the interface itself, I won't say it's the best, I won't say it's the worst. It is quite complex, so it's good because you have those options to be able to make your footage better or just to make your shooting easier. But it's also bad because if you're a beginner like I was not too long ago, you can look at all these settings and be completely overwhelmed. So that's why the interface is good and bad. Next, I'll talk about the actual noise this thing makes. When you're recording, it's completely silent. Okay, next is the autofocus. The autofocus on this thing is insane. I think it's one of the fastest autofocuses out there. It's not perfect. I don't think any autofocus is perfect, but it does a really good job. Yeah, that's really handy when you are vlogging, when you are doing some quick shoots. The zoom on this thing is pretty decent. The zoom itself goes 2.92 times, and you can even go farther because it has digital zoom. You do get way more noise though that way. Audio recorders on this are found there and there. So there's two. I think it's stereo, so it's left and right. They are not the best, but they do the job. Usable, except for when it's windy, you're kind of, but it does the trick. I know a lot of people put the mini dead cats on there. I would really recommend getting a separate recorder. So I have the Zoom H1, which works well. I'm using it right now. And yeah, that's another downside, is that it doesn't have a audio jack to be able to directly attach a separate audio recorder to this thing. That kind of sucks, but that's life. This thing I just found a couple weeks right after I just got it, and it is a really cool feature. So there's a built-in ND filter that goes over the lens and off the lens. This is super sick. I want to shake this guy's hand. Like, this is some freaking engineering right here. It's quick. You just go on the settings, cut like 2 taps, boom, ND filter on. You can do some more long exposure stuff. So that is a really good feature. And next is the built-in stabilization. So the stabilization is called Steady Shot. And if you set this to active, holy crap. This has saved me so many times because I'm on a backpacking trip or something. I don't have space to be able to have a gimbal or a steady cam with me, but I just use the in-camera stabilization. You can get some really steady shots. The only thing with that, it does crop in on your image, a little bit less resolution, but it's totally worth it to have the steadiness in your shot. Yeah, good job, Sony. Another thing too is you can do wireless connection to your phone. If you're one of those people that just likes to quickly dump your footage onto your phone, edit them, post them on the social medias, that's perfect for you. Boom, perfect. Another thing too, the actual lens itself, f-stop 1.8 to 11. This is so nice, okay? So I use the f-stop 1.8 all the time. I love the blurriness and the background stuff, and it's super nice to have. Boom, you got it. The shutter speed is also really awesome. If you're looking to get that sky shot or something in the dark, you can capture light for 30 seconds. Now let's move on to some of the bad things. I already mentioned some, but let's go into bad things. The obvious thing, the price itself. It's not cheap. I got a pack, I think it was around like $1,300. Came with this, 2 extra batteries, like a mini tripod, like a little case, SD cards, and a light. So just like kind of the basic things, but I think it's totally worth it. But if you are like a super beginner, it is quite the expense up front. You really do get what you pay for. Another bad thing about this thing is the lens does not come off. You can use as many crowbars as you want, and this thing will not come off. The lens on here is really good and versatile, but you cannot switch it, unfortunately. Another thing too, the battery life. The batteries are like this. They're quite small. They do not last super long if you're wanting to do like a huge interview or something like that. Not the camera, because it doesn't last very long battery life. If you do end up getting this camera, make sure you have multiple batteries, or you have like a battery pack you can sticker in and charge up. And one of the final bad things about this camera is, okay, so you pay close to $1,000 for this camera. You're all excited, yeah. Then you go on the streets and you want to get this dope time lapse of cars passing by, right? And you go in, there's no way to make a time lapse. Why wouldn't they already have time lapse feature on this thing? Like, time lapses are freaking a normal part of a camera, but apparently not on this. You have to pay an extra $10 to buy the time lapse app. Obviously, I bought it because I need it, but it's a little like jab in the gut, you know? Okay, so now let's talk about, is this camera for you? This is good for a person that is crunched on space and weight. So if you're a backpacker, if you're traveling, if you're one of those people, because it is so small and so good, it's gonna be perfect for you. And it's for somebody that actually wants good quality stuff, because it is really good quality. So yeah, thanks so much guys for watching. If I did miss anything, comment below. Yeah, see you guys around.